Nathan Carter had been on Outpost Kestrel for 3 years. The post was small and quiet. He liked it that way. His job was simple. Check the perimeter, log strange readings, fix what broke. Quiet meant fewer surprises. Quiet kept him safe from the chaos of crowded trade lanes and war-torn systems. That night the quiet did not last. Nathan was on his last patrol when his scanner caught a weak signal. At first it was nothing, a ghost among the usual background noise. He tightened his grip on the console and ran a clean. The signal sharpened into a distress ping. A small ship, badly damaged, drifting just outside the tractor field. The craft was too far to salvage easily, but close enough that someone might still be alive. He did not think very long. He suited and moved with the steady hands of a man who had learned to act fast. The docking bay smelled of hot metal and old grease. Outside, the damaged vessel hung like a bruise against the stars. Its hull was torn, and sparks danced where plating had peeled away. Nathan linked his boarding line, cycled the airlock, and pushed through into the stranger's cabin. Inside, the light was low and the air tasted of burnt wiring. Tools lay scattered, panels were ripped from their mounts, and the central seat had something wrapped in a cloth. Nathan's boot knocked the cloth aside. He expected a body. He found a woman. She was not human, and at the same time she was oddly familiar. Her skin shimmered with a faint, moving color that shifted like oil on water when light touched it. Her face held a calm that did not belong to someone who had just survived a crash. Her eyes were large and slow to focus. They watched him with a patient intelligence that made him feel small and clumsy. "I require assistance," she said, and her voice was smooth and layered with a slight musical accent. Her words were careful, as if she chose each one to build a bridge between them. Nathan felt the word choice like a gentle command. He stepped closer. He felt the ship's hull groan under his boots, a reminder the place could fall apart at any moment. "Are you hurt?" he asked, though his attention kept drifting. There was a soft glow at the woman's lower torso, under the fold of her suit. It pulsed like a slow heartbeat, blue, then violet, then a pale white. It did not belong to any tool Nathan had seen in salvage logs. It did not fit any medical readout in his files. Curiosity is a dangerous thing for men alone on the edge of civilized space. Nathan tried to keep his tone professional. He failed. Before his better caution could stop him, the question moved out of his mouth. "What is between your legs?" he said bluntly, and the words sounded worse once they were spoken. For a moment the woman said nothing. Then, slowly, a small smile touched the corner of her mouth. She did not look shameful. She did not look angered. Her eyes held a calm like an ocean before a storm. "You ask bold things," she replied softly. Her voice held warmth now, but it also held warning. Nathan's heart hammered in his chest. He had not meant to be rude. He had not expected the feeling that rose in his throat at the sound of her name. She told him, simply, Alicia. The name fit in his mouth in a way he did not expect. It sounded like any common human name. Around them, the ship's broken panels groaned, and the faint hum of failing systems filled the air. For a few seconds, everything moved slowly. Nathan could hear only the soft pulse of that blue light and the low, steady breath of the stranger. She took one step nearer. Her simple movement shifted the space between them. Nathan felt it like a change in gravity. The station's console lights began to flicker in a rhythm that matched the pulsing glow. The air itself seemed to vibrate just a little, as if something very deep in the ship had decided to wake. Alicia's hand lifted. Her fingers hovered near Nathan's chest, and a small wave of warmth passed through him. The world sharpened, and he could not pretend he was not under some strange spell. Her voice dropped, thick with meaning. "Are you ready, human?" she asked. The question hung in the cramped cabin like a bell. Outside, the stars kept their indifferent watch. Inside, Nathan felt the world split in two, the part that knew this was only a rescue, and the part that knew everything would change the moment she answered. Nathan stood frozen. Alicia's question echoed inside his mind like a soft whisper with sharp edges. The glow at her lower torso brightened for a second, then dimmed again as if it breathed. Nathan had seen strange alien gear before, but nothing like this. Nothing alive. Nothing that reacted to emotion. Alicia stepped back from him, giving him space. though the air still felt heavy between them. Her eyes were calm, almost too calm, for someone stranded in a broken ship. She watched Nathan carefully, studying every small move he made, as if weighing what kind of human he was. "Nathan Carter," she said slowly, her voice low and clear, "you asked to see something you do not understand." "I know," Nathan said, his throat dry, "but I want to know what it is." Alicia did not answer right away. Instead, she turned her gaze toward a cracked control panel. Her fingers brushed the surface gently. At her touch, the shattered screen flickered to life, glowing weakly even though its power cells should have been dead. Nathan blinked. He knew the difference between damaged tech and revived systems. This was impossible. Alicia drew in a slow breath. The light beneath her suit pulsed again, soft, rhythmic, alive. "That energy," Nathan said quietly, "it came from you?" Alicia nodded once. Nathan felt the air tighten. His heartbeat grew louder in his ears, and something in his chest twisted between awe and fear. He had asked a careless question inside a damaged ship. Now he was standing in front of someone who held more power than any being he had ever met. "This thing between my legs," Alicia said with calm control, "is not a weapon, not the way humans understand weapons. It is a core, a living core." Nathan frowned. "Like a heart?" "More," she said softly. "It is part of my body, yes, but it is also something older than my people, something we guard, something many would kill to control." Her voice stayed calm, but the sadness behind it was clear. Nathan understood the feeling of being hunted. He had seen soldiers with that same look after long wars, tired but refusing to break. "What does it do?" he asked. Alicia's eyes met his. For a moment, she did not look like a stranger. She looked like someone standing on the edge of trust. "It creates," she whispered. "It heals. It connects. And if pushed, it can destroy." Nathan let out a slow breath. "So the glow, is it part of you?" "Yes." "And someone attacked your ship because of it?" Alicia did not look away. "They want my core. They want to use it to fuel their war engines. If they succeed, whole worlds will fall." The words hit Nathan hard. Destroying worlds. Using a living being like a battery. He felt anger rising in him. Not fear, anger. He hated people who treated others like tools. But before he could speak, an alarm on the station cut through the silence. A sharp, cold noise. A perimeter alert. Nathan jerked toward the sound. That can't be right. Nothing is scheduled to dock. Alicia's expression shifted instantly. Calm turned to sharp worry. "They found me." Nathan hurried to the control panel, checking the feed. His stomach dropped. A small, dark ship was approaching. No calling code, no beacon, no request dock. Its engines burned cold and silent, designed for stealth. "What do we do?" he asked. Alicia moved closer, her voice low. "Your station is not safe anymore. They will board. They always board." Nathan grabbed his comm. "I can lock down the corridors. I can call for backup." "No backup will reach you in time," Alicia said. Her hand brushed the wall, and the lights flickered again in response. "They are here for me, and they will not leave without me." As if to answer her words, the metal hallway outside hissed. Footsteps. Heavy ones. Armored. Nathan's pulse hammered. Alicia turned her head, her eyes glowing faintly. "It begins," she whispered. The door behind them slid open with a harsh metallic scrape, and the hunters stepped inside. The hunters stepped into the room without hesitation. Their armor was dark and smooth, built to hide sound and reflect no light. Their helmets had a single red stripe down the center, glowing like a quiet threat. Nathan had never seen them before, but Alicia's tense posture told him everything he needed to know. They were experts, and they were dangerous. The lead hunter raised a hand. "Subject Alicia," he said in a cold metallic voice, "you will surrender the core." Alicia did not move. She stood tall, shoulders straight, eyes bright with silent power. "No." Nathan's pulse hammered in his throat. He had no weapon, no combat training to match these intruders. Still, he stepped slightly in front of her, more instinct than thought. "She's not going anywhere," he said. The The hunter tilted his head, studying Nathan. Human, step aside. You are not part of this. Nathan swallowed. He knew he was outmatched, but he refused to move. Alicia shifted, placing one hand gently on his arm. A soft warmth passed from her skin into his body, steadying his trembling muscles. Nathan Carter, she said quietly. I can protect myself. But her eyes said something else. Let me protect you too. Before Nathan could argue, the first hunter lunged. Everything happened fast. The hunter swung a heavy arm toward Nathan, but Alicia moved faster. Her hand cut through the air, and a pulse of light flashed from her fingertips. It was not an explosion, more like a wave of pressure. The hunter's armor groaned. Sparks flew, and he slammed against the wall with a loud metallic crash. The other two hunters reacted instantly, raising their weapons. Alicia grabbed Nathan's wrist. Run. They sprinted through the hallway, alarms blaring overhead. Red lights flashed across the walls, and the floor shook as if the station itself was panicking. Nathan ran hard, breath short, trying to keep up with Alicia's fluid, gliding steps. This way, he shouted, turning toward a maintenance shaft he had used hundreds of times. It was narrow, messy, and perfect for losing pursuers. Alicia slid inside behind him. Her skin dimmed slightly, the glow under her suit flickering like a struggling candle. She was getting tired. He could see it. We need to seal the deck, Nathan said. If they spread through the whole station, we're done. Alicia nodded weakly. Nathan accessed the side panel and punched in the security code. But before he could finish, the screen blinked. Access overridden. Nathan's eyes widened. No, that's not possible. Only someone on the station can override. A soft click echoed above them. A hatch slid open. A figure looked down into the shaft. Nathan, the man said, shaking his head, you should have stayed out of this. It was Officer Bren, someone Nathan had worked with for years, someone he trusted. Nathan felt the betrayal like a punch to the chest. You, Nathan whispered. Why? Bren climbed down the ladder slowly. Orders, Nathan. They want her. The hunters pay. Our command wants results. This station's been falling apart for years. We need this. I need this. You sold us out, Nathan said. Bren's jaw tightened. Move aside. I don't want to hurt you. Alicia placed a hand on Nathan's shoulder. Do not move. Bren lifted a small control device. I locked the bulkhead. You're cornered. There's nowhere to run. Nathan saw Alicia's eyes flicker, fear mixed with anger. She was weakening. She couldn't unleash another blast like before. The hunter footsteps grew louder down the corridor. They were trapped. But as Bren stepped closer, something unexpected happened. Nathan felt a pulse inside his chest. A faint warm spark. The same warmth he had felt when Alicia touched him earlier. Alicia looked at him sharply, eyes widening. Nathan, the connection. Before she could finish, the lights around them flickered. The air hummed. A soft glow began spreading across Nathan's skin. Bren stumbled back in shock. What is that? He shouted. But Alicia already knew. Her power was awakening inside him too. Nathan stared at his faintly glowing hands, breath shaking. What's happening to me? He whispered. Alicia's voice trembled. We are bonded now, Nathan Carter. What I am, you are becoming. The hunters closed in from both sides. And Nathan realized he was no longer just a human hiding in a maintenance shaft. He was something new, something dangerous, something they would not let escape. The real fight was about to begin. Nathan stared at his glowing hands, unable to breathe for a moment. The light wasn't bright, but it was alive. It pulsed in the same rhythm as Alicia's core, like they shared the same heartbeat. The warm hum inside him felt strange, but not painful, more like a current moving through his blood. Alicia touched his wrist carefully. Nathan, listen to me. This is not full power, only a small connection. But it is enough to protect us, for now. Nathan swallowed hard. Enough for what? Before she could answer, a loud metallic crash echoed down the corridor. The hunters were forcing open the block passage. Their heavy boots slammed against the metal floor, each step like a countdown. Bren, the traitor, backed up the shaft with panic in his eyes. Nathan, don't be stupid. Help me turn her in. We can both walk away from this. Nathan felt anger rise like fire. Walk away? After you let killers on our station? Bren raised the small control device again. If you get in my way, Nathan, I'll... He never finished. Alicia lifted her hand, and a quick burst of light struck the device. It shattered in Bren's palm, sparks flying. Bren yelped in surprise and stumbled back up the ladder, fleeing like a frightened animal. Nathan looked at her. You didn't hurt him. No, Alicia said softly. I hurt only what he held. Despite everything, she still chose mercy. The hunters were almost through. The metal door bent under their repeated blows. Nathan grabbed Alicia's hand. We need to move. Now! They hurried through the narrow shaft. The station shook with the hunters' weapons firing behind them. Alicia moved slower now. She was weakening more with each step. Her glow flickered like a dying flame. How long can you keep going? Nathan asked. I do not know, she said honestly. Using my power without rest is dangerous. They reached the end of the shaft and dropped into a dark corridor. Panels flickered overhead. The air smelled like burnt circuits. The whole station was falling apart. Nathan guided her toward the central reactor room. If we get in there, we can overload the inner doors and trap the hunters behind blast walls. Alicia tried to smile. Human plans. Always explosive. But her voice shook. She was exhausted. They reached the reactor door. Nathan entered his emergency code, but the panel gave a weak error sound. Power minimum. Access limited. Nathan slammed his fist against the wall. Come on. Just open. Alicia looked at the door, then placed her palm softly against it. The glow under her suit brightened for a brief moment and spread through the metal like a ripple. The lock clicked open. Nathan stared at her. You're burning energy too fast. Alicia shook her head. It is necessary. They entered the reactor chamber, filled with humming machinery, tall pipes, and a thick column of blue-white energy in the center. It was loud, hot, and dangerous. Nathan ran to the console and started overriding the internal routes. If I can redirect the power surge into the lower hallway, we can seal them in. Suddenly the door behind them slammed open. The hunters had arrived. Alicia pushed Nathan aside and stepped forward. Stay behind me. Alicia, no. But it was too late. Her entire body brightened. The glow underneath her suit turned blinding white. Energy swirled around her like a storm. The hunters opened fire. The bullets never reached her. They dissolved into sparks before hitting her skin. The chamber shook as she unleashed a wave of force that crashed into the hunters and threw them out of the doorway. But the blast took a toll. Alicia collapsed to one knee, gasping. Nathan rushed to her. Alicia! Her voice was faint. Nathan, I cannot do another one like that. My core is unstable. We must finish this now. Behind them, the hunters began to rise again, injured but not defeated. Nathan helped Alicia to her feet. The hum of her core vibrated against his hand, and the same hum echoed inside his chest. We do this together, Nathan said. Alicia looked into his eyes, exhausted but proud. Then hold on to me, human. Nathan took her hand. The reactor lights flared. Power surged violently through the chamber, and Nathan felt the bond between them ignite like fire. The final confrontation had begun. The reactor chamber roared like a living storm. Sparks fell from the ceiling. Metal groaned under the pressure of the rising energy. Nathan felt the warmth of Alicia's hand. But this time it was not only warmth. It was power, flowing, pulsing, climbing up his arm and into his chest like a second heartbeat. Alicia leaned against him, barely standing. Her glow flickered weakly, as if fighting to stay alive. Nathan, I need you to listen. I'm here, he said, pulling her closer so she wouldn't fall. The hunters will not stop. Even if we defeat these ones, others will come, stronger, faster. Nathan felt fear in his stomach, but his voice stayed steady. Then we make sure they have nothing come for. Alicia shook her head. No, Nathan. If we destroy the reactor to stop them, the outpost will die. You will die. He stared into her bright, fading eyes. I'm not letting you be taken. That's final. A deep, metallic thud shook the room. The hunters were forcing their way back in, armor cracked but relentless. Their leader stepped over the bodies of the fallen and pointed a weapon toward Alicia. The core belongs to us, he said. Do not resist. Alicia's legs trembled. Nathan held her upright. You're not taking her, he shot back. Not today. The hunter leader tilted his head. Human, you glow. You are contaminated. The bond is active. Nathan felt the hum under his skin. Alicia's power was inside him, alive. The leader raised his weapon. Then you are a threat. Nathan didn't think. He moved. A pulse of light exploded from his palm, small, shaky, but real. It struck the hunter's armor and sent him sliding back across the floor. Nathan gasped in shock. I did that. Alicia looked at him with tired pride. The bond is real, Nathan Carter. You carry a piece of my core now. He felt the truth. The power was there, but was wild, untrained. The reactor behind them glowed brighter, reaching critical levels. The whole station trembled as alarms blared. Nathan grabbed Alicia's shoulders. Tell me what to do. Alicia's voice grew soft, fragile. I can shield the reactor, just long enough to trap the hunters behind the energy walls. But to do that, I must use the last of my strength. And what happens to you? Nathan whispered. Alicia smiled sadly. I do not know. He shook his head. No, we do this together. Her glow flickered, softer now. Nathan, if we combine our bond, we can do something else. Something greater. What? We can send a signal, she whispered. A truth signal. It will reveal what the hunters are doing. To every listening world, every station, every ship. They will not be able to hide anymore. Nathan understood. Expose them. Turn the galaxy against them. Alicia nodded. Yes, but the signal will drain both of us. The cost may be high. Nathan touched her cheek gently. We stand together, right? Alicia's eyes shined. Together. They turned toward the reactor. Nathan reached toward the column of blazing energy. Alicia placed her hand over his. Their fingers interlocked. Light burst from their hands, spreading across the chamber like a sunrise. The reactor lights flared white. The hunters raised their arms to shield themselves, but the wave passed through them, ignoring armor, ignoring weapons, like truth passing through lies. A beam of brilliant energy shot out from the station, racing through the stars. It carried Alicia's voice. It carried the truth about the hunters. It carried the bond she shared with Nathan. The hunters' weapons shut down. Their armor failed. Their leader fell to his knees, powerless. Alicia collapsed. Nathan caught her, falling to the floor with her weight in his arms. Her glow dimmed to a faint shimmer. Alicia, stay with me, he said, voice breaking. Her eyes opened slowly. Nathan, you saved many worlds today. No, he whispered. We saved them. Outside the view window, dozens of signals lit up across space. Ships calling, worlds responding, allies rising. The truth signal had worked. The hunters were finished. Alicia rested her head on his chest. Our fates are tied now. Nathan smiled weakly. I can live with that. She breathed out softly. Humanity surprises me. Nathan looked out at the stars, feeling the pulse of energy still inside him, gentle and warm. Yeah, he said, holding her close. Sometimes we surprise ourselves. And together, on the quiet floor of the damaged station, they watched the galaxy wake up, free at last from the hunters' lies. The fight was over, but their story had only just begun.